Okay, Claude. Oh! Alright, go to your room. Don't come back till you can be nice.
I'm a stranger on the highway, chasing down my dreams, past the point of caring just how crazy this all seems. I've got the music blasting, but I don't hear a sound. I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere, but just a mile from the next town. The needle is south of empty, and I'm running off the road. I believe it's high time that I stop to reload. Give me gasoline and coffee, and I'll be on my way. They're the only things I can afford to buy today. But I need gasoline and coffee, petrol and caffeine. There's nothing I need worse right now than coffee and gasoline.
When I told my wife I was going to spend a week on the road doing a documentary about folk singer, activist Robert Hoyt, she said, well, just don't get arrested, and please don't eat out of any dumpsters. At the time, those didn't seem like extreme requests. And it all started when Robert and Claude pulled up to my sister Amy's apartment in Chicago.
Yeah, came straight here, no problem whatsoever.
It's pretty easy.
Hey!
Oh no, I saw the tripod, so
It's starting right now.
might as well get used to this. How you doing?
Good to see you. Pretty good.
Okay, we probably just lay this right here. Be fine.
That's perfect, yeah.
Claude?
Hey, big guy. Move over. Got a passenger.
Hi, Buzz. You got to move. Why don't you get in the back? You've been riding in the back for the most part anyway. Used to be afraid to drive in big cities like this. And there are scary places to drive through. Every time I break down, which is rare, but when I do, it's like, what do you say to myself? Better here than in the Bronx. I still kind of have a fascination with big cities, I don't know why. It's because it's the way humans ought to live.
I flip the switch and the lights come on. I set up my garbage and like magic it's gone. I turn on the faucet and the clear waters flow. I gas up my car and away I go.
Toll booth operators and Claude, the interaction there.
What happens?
I mean, most of them it makes their day. There was one woman somewhere, I think it was New Hampshire, fascist New Hampshire, full of the toll booth. And the woman there in the toll booth, she like freaks out, she shuts the windows and, oh, I'm so scared of cats, don't let him jump on me. Like, I was just like, this cat can jump on her if he wanted to.
I'm in my armchair watching some wild animal show. There are places like that out there, it's sure nice to know. And as the carnivore closes in for the kill, they don't show the strip mine just over the hill.
So where's this gig tonight?
Madison, Wisconsin. Never met any of them. My first contact here was a Earth Firster fellow who I haven't met yet, but seems to be pretty hot on my music. Hey Ben, it's Robert Hoyt. How the hell are you? It's a little after 5. I don't know, I have an address on the Lothlorien Co-op, so I guess we'll see you there. Real mover and shaker, so I'll be happy to meet you.
What constitutes a mover and shaker in your world?
I don't know, someone who gets things done and occasionally comes up with some creative ways of doing it.
Just one smash of that television set, and you will be absolved of brainwashing and media PR.
And the basic idea here is that that somebody who sees this television set being smashed, or maybe even participates, will begin a process of evaluation of how we receive messages in the society, where they're coming from, and of who we are as well.
Ecological collapse is imminent, you say. We're losing at least 100 species a day. Headed toward a break while at 100 miles an hour. It's not just about survival, it's about buy a beachfront land that is 10 miles inland. If it gets too hot here, I'll just move to Finland. I'll get a glass bubble where I can hide that will withstand the bricks from other ones outside. Why should I care? Why should I care? Because all of this is not a problem for me. It's just an opportunity. Me, then again, I guess it could be.
Well, I think Robert brings in a good sort of southern, down-home, realistic sort of sense to the music that goes on.
Do you ever catch your southern, fairly traditional upbringing coming through in some of your music or your attitudes?
If it does, it's as a reaction to it, not in support of or in a reflection of it.
You think that's possible?
Robert really like sort of ties in radicalism with, you know, good common sense, you know, Midwestern Southern values.
See, I grew up in a place in a town in the deep south where the major employer was the local Air Force base. And it's where my dad worked for some 30-odd years. Good place to be from, as far from as you can get. This is a song about guns and butter and growing up as a child of the military-industrial complex.
What kind of stuff did you do as a kid?
Read a lot of books. Spend my summers every other day. I would go to the library and check out my limit of 4 books.
We can't hear ourselves think beneath the bed.
I was kind of a lonely kid in the neighborhood where there weren't really any kids my age. My siblings, though I had many, their age group was like at least 4 years on either side of me. So I was into everything. I was into things like, I thought that was kind of interesting. Certain times in my life I was into things like chemistry, biology, astronomy. And every time I'd go to school and like into class on this, I never wanted to have anything to do with it again. I don't know, maybe that speaks something for our educational system, I don't know.
Maybe you're just a rebel at heart.
No, that came later. I was a perfect child. Well, not perfect.
Superpower, don't be afraid. It's one of ours.
I got to go out in the woods a few times lots growing up. I was in the Boy Scouts, you know. I always loved the woods. Well, I bought my first guitar, Sears Silvertone, selling greeting cards when I was about 11.
When did you write your first song?
It's okay, Claude. Oh! Alright, go to your room. Don't come back till you can be nice. What was the question? I'm sorry.
When did you write your first song?
That's what you mean by song. Because I tried to write songs all, you know, all through my teenage years, you know, as I was trying to be a rock and roll guitar player and stuff through that time. You know, it was bad. I probably wrote 300 songs before I wrote any of the stuff that I'm doing now.
The time is 10:36, just about here on WORT in Madison, Wisconsin. The Folk Anarchist here with a pair of tickets to give away to the first caller for a toxic tour of the Madison metro area. Visit some of Madison's worst pollution. Yum, including 2 Superfund sites. Local experts guide tours at each site. I don't see the state capitol or the governor's office or the governor's mansion on this tour. Show up Friday, April 21st, John Muir's birthday. I believe he will be 157 years old this year. It's might be a little long in the tooth if he does manage to show up Friday. Robert Hoyt has a new release out. Robert Hoyt just performed at the Lothlorien Co-op last night. Sorry if you missed it, but we'll be talking to Robert here shortly. And we want to begin by playing something from this brand new release, Dumpster Diving Across America. A little tune entitled Quittin' Time.
Kill your television!
Why would you smash a cathode ray tube for Earth Day? That's really bad for the Earth.
Go to any dump and you will find thousands of these things because we produce more TVs than there are people who can watch them.
Television is a really good medium if used properly.
I used to get excited about new inventions.
And they try to get their kudos through that, but it ignores the fact of the reality. Then we'll see what happens.
But now I've
They all ought to be smashed. Smash them.
Well, Dan,
Wow.
he ran off that way.
Interesting.
Kyle, have you seen our television?
What? Kyle? Who's
Yeah,
Kyle?
he's a Kyle with Alliance for Animals. Kyle's in the media, see? Right in the middle of the interview, he ran off with the television set. Well, we just had a theft. You know, it's sort of like stealing the prisoner of an execution before the execution's allowed to be carried out.
Oh, well, you want another one? We have the big one.
Let's bring out the big one.
Bring the big one.
It's quitting time. It's quitting time on the dedication. Quitting time. Quitting time on It's quitting time.
There'll be more TVs this Friday, 3 o'clock on the terrace. Another chance for you to strike a blow for freedom. Just say no to corporate scum on TV and anywhere else.
Remember that Earth Week is not about one television or some guerrilla theater or a couple marches. It's about fighting for the day when all television sets either look like that or are being used as aquariums.
What I think this is great. Are they going to still be that way with their 40?
I think we have a mess to clean up, John. Sure.
What did this accomplish here today?
What did this accomplish? Well, obviously there are some people who are attracted by the scene of such gratuitous violence. And when they talk about gratuitous violence on television, I don't think that's what they had in mind.
They've eaten from the fruit from the tree of knowledge, and it's hard to be blissfully ignorant after that.
Is Claude blissfully ignorant?
Claude thinks These humans are just the most stupid species there ever was. Right, Claude?
I think it established that the people do have control over our television sets, and that our minds are our own affairs, and that there's nothing a little axe can't take care of.
After you see this video, take your TV out and smash it.
Robert Hoyt from his brand new release, Dumpster Diving Across America. That was quitting time. Robert, do you want to say anything about that song? It's quitting time.
Well, good morning. Gee, yeah, it's just a song about how we are tied in with what I call a nouveau religion running rampant in our society, that being technology. I suppose it solves problems, you know, like that house over there, someone's living in there, that keeps them, you know, shelters them from the cold and the rain and blah, blah, blah. And it's convenient that we can drive down this road. And there's a field out there, plowed up, you know, they used a tractor to do it with. This cannot last. We can't feed ourselves. When the fossil fuel is gone, what's going to power the tractor? Not to mention, you know, what all the pesticides and stuff is doing to the water supply. The point is that for every problem that technology is supposedly solved, it probably has created 10 more.
Well, technology occasionally comes through, but yeah, you're right. The batting average is not that good. Robert Hoyt from Decatur, Georgia, a song entitled Trees.
I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the earth's sweet flowing breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree.
Hard to care about what you don't know about.
Is that why you do the Cove Mallard thing?
Well, I think this is one of the biggest problems with the Cove Mallard thing is the general U.S. public doesn't know about it. It has no clue as to what's going on there. Today I'm here to tell you before it is too late about the largest wild place in the lower 48. A place we call Cove Mallard up in Idaho State, and the miles of roads and clear cuts that soon to be its fate. It's all public lands, meaning it belongs to you. All you, the U.S. taxpaying citizen, not the timber corporation. A lot of folks have been doing what they can to prevent it. Encourage everybody to go up there and do whatever you can to stop it. You can just go out there just to see the place. Go out there and help defend it. And by me telling you that, I just broke the law. I just committed a felony for which I could be extradited back to the state of Idaho. Now they have a new weapon with which they will suppress our efforts to keep intact this largest wilderness. Its constitutionality isn't worth debate. It's known as the Earth First Law, House Bill 728. With all these hippies going to Idaho protecting the forests, Idaho State Legislature, in its infinite wisdom, passed a new law. Basically, this law says that what I'm doing by telling you all this and encouraging you to go to Idaho to help stop the destruction of the forest there is against the law. A couple summers ago, some people blockaded a road that they were building, and some of them were like buried themselves in the
ground somewhere in tripods. One of the things they were charged with was conspiracy to commit grand theft. They said they stole that road. So anyway, this law states, and I quote, any person who solicits any other person or conspires with any other person to commit any crime against property or person with a specific intent to halt, impede, obstruct, or interfere with the lawful harvesting, management, or cultivation of trees or timber shall be guilty of a felony.
Since I'm like guilty as hell,
I'd rather not do this alone, so you sing the chorus, you also break the law.
We can all be felons.
So come on, when the chorus rolls around, you folks out there in Radio Land, jump right on in there, because after all, breaking the law has never been so much fun. A line drawn in the forest to keep it wild and free. A line drawn in the forest behind which we stand firmly. And now I want everyone to sing along with me, because to sing the song is to commit a felony. So go to Idaho, engage in activities to alter or interfere with the felling of the trees. If you do what you have to, you'll violate some legal code. But if you want to keep it roadless, then go and steal a road. One more time. So go to Idaho, engage in activities to alter or interfere with the felling of the trees. If you do what you have to, you'll violate some legal code. But if you want to keep it roadless, then go and steal a road. Yes, if you want to keep it roadless, then go and steal a road.
All right. You're all under arrest.
What is the problem with the Forest Service?
They're public images that they say they're multiple use. That's for all uses. But when in fact, their priority is combining the logging and the resource extraction. It's a total giveaway to the corporations. It's corporate welfare. You want to reform welfare, do away with the corporate welfare. That's where the billions and billions and billions of dollars are being lost. We're looking for a white buffalo. Somewhere near Janesville, Wisconsin. Straight on. This is Oak Hill. We're still on Avalon. But this is not a wild buffalo chase.
All the Native Americans in the country are latching and grabbing onto this thing and calling it the fulfillment of a prophecy.
Claude, what are you doing? You're funny. Got your head stuck in the crack. What are you doing down there? Howdy. Well, we saw him. Gosh, I still don't even know what gender he was.
It's a she.
It's a she?
Yeah.
One time we had a female messiah that was not human.
Hey, Mr. Fuckman, what do you sing those songs? You think we'd understand now that you're gone? What's that I hear now? Ballads and rags. Is there anybody here who wrapped themselves in a flag? You sang so many songs.
Took a while to get used to his voice, but after that, a whole new world opened up. Yeah.
What was your previous profession?
Which one?
Well,
My first profession, or first direction as a young adult, was playing rock and roll music and stuff. I was actually a piano player in a rock and roll band. Got tired of being broke. Moved to Atlanta, went back to school, taking a computer class and like having some ridiculously high average, like a 99.99 for that course. And like, well, hey, I'm good at this. So I got into computers and did pretty well. And then graduated, got ready to graduate from college, it's like, whoa, whoops. Reality check, we have to get a job. Oh, we gotta cut our hair. Oh shit. But I did all that. About the same time as that was happening, I became an activist. Mostly through party politics. So I did that at night while I was like this little, you know, pseudo-yuppie business person by day. It kind of helped balance out my life a little bit. A lot of people I work with that had no clues what I was up to at night. Tried to get involved with the Sierra Club. That lasted about a year. But I remember we were lobbying in the state legislature on behalf of the Sierra Club. There wasn't a damn every free-flowing river left in Georgia. And I was there doing this lobbying. And when the guys from the Sierra Club was working, they said, "Oh, you're really into this. You're really, you know, got a lot of spirit. You know, you ever heard of Earth First?"
All you good Americans that read between the lines, help your siblings everywhere to open up closed minds. Stand up to those who are to blame for crimes committed in our name. All you good Americans, things can't stay the same.
It was like as natural for me as falling off a log. I mean, I could see all around me. We were totally losing the war in this environmental thing. Still are, of course. At least, you know, at least I'm with a group of people that realize that now and are willing to change put their bodies on the line, totally change their lifestyle for this. Make it a way of life, not just a part-time hobby.
Let's kick the bastards out.
We're in Normal, Illinois. That's Illinois State University down the street there. We're at Saad's house. Desperately need to make some phone calls. Okay. But I don't know what to expect, you know. I figured Dave's a good guy, but it seems to be a little bit more mainstream than, say, this group is. And,
Very perceptive.
More mainstream than who?
you freaking radicals in this house here.
We're conservatives.
We're conservatives all the way.
We're pushing the conservatives.
Conservatives as in conservation, right?
We're conservatives and fiscal conservatives.
We're more conservative than the conservatives.
Fair market value.
That's right.
For public resources.
Doesn't matter if it's a great gig or just the worst gig in the world, even an open mic, something silly like that. I am always pretty not necessarily terrified, but always concerned. I mean, I want to do my best.
I hate money, I hate the smell of cash. I hate money, we've all got our little stash. I hate money, it's that most addictive stuff. No matter how much you have, it's never enough. I hate money, money killed my brother. I hate money, money killed my mother. I hate it, look what it's done to you and me. It's not just the root, it's the whole damn tree.
It's the ugly side of my business. Let's say I'm doing accounting and writing deadbeat letters to colleges that owe me money where I performed and haven't paid me yet.
I hate money, it's that carrot on a stick. I hate money as I turn another trick. I hate to think that they would take away mine, and that's all it takes to keep me in line.
Basically, it's a $3 cover charge and I'm guaranteed $300.
I hate money, money killed my brother.
Oh, they're nice. Great people here in Bloomington Normal. Yeah, Claude's one of my favorite people. He's a character. And some green fire in his blood for sure.
When there's green fire in your blood, what kind of character traits do you have?
It's a spirit, a love for all things wild. The knowledge that's the real world. This interstate highway is not the real world.
So what if we treated it like the trash that it is? Refuse to use it to pay for our goods and services? Then this thing might become a thing of the past. And any left around you could use to wipe your ass.
There's not much chance there'll be cars going down this freeway like there are now. Definitely not 300 years from now. Probably not even 100 years from now. Possibly not even 50 years from now. We're living in the midst of an ecological meltdown, holocaust. Between the ozone, hole in the ozone layer, global warming, whole nuclear thing. Living in the greatest planetary extinction since the dinosaurs. You know, they don't have to be right about one of those things. We're deep doo-doo. That's wholly a human-centered point of view. I mean, we should put the earth first. If we put the earth first, and the humans will be taken care of. If we put humans first, then the humans are going to go down and they're going to drag most of the life on this planet with them. You know, someone might say, well, we don't need those species. What are they doing for us? Oh, but that species might have the cure for cancer. Who cares? We don't know. That's one thing we're such a... As a species, we have such a big ego, like we know everything. We don't know anything. Now, can humans survive through this? Well, some folks would say it'd be better if they don't. Claude, you're being a total little butthole. I know you're grumpy. Why don't you go sleep back there? Some say, we could build a spaceship. I mean, really, if it was feasible, that you could take a spaceship to some other planet. I mean, seriously, do you think you'd have a ticket? Let's get real here, folks.
Where are we, by the way?
We're in Woodford County in central Illinois. This is my link with the past. I think it was either a small game tip or maybe an arrowhead for a small boy. If you can see, the arrowhead's helical, perfectly made, very highly evolved.
You found that around here?
Yeah, a couple ridges over. Well, I always wondered whether I was going to capture this or not.
Gonna take a leak?
He has to, trigger it.
Morning, Robert Hoyt. Good morning.
Made with virgin
I drank too much coffee yesterday, and all these National Forest riders from hell didn't sleep very well last night.
Yeah.
Did you not sleep? Because I woke up last night and couldn't control what I wanted to do about it. I kept thinking about it in my head, and I woke up and I couldn't calm myself down.
Early this AM, I stumbled out of bed. Stayed up too long, worrying about being dead. Showed up late at the place where I'm employed. Mumbled something about the traffic, and the boss just looked annoyed. Lunchtime outside, felt the sun upon my face. But it reminded me of another time and place. Heard the birds sing music in the air. Then I felt something drop into my hair. My heart sings as it gets battered on my sleeve, and my senses all get up to leave. My head spins as it gets just too full of stuff. Sometimes you just gotta say enough. Yeah, enough. Oh, enough. Oh, yes, enough.
His dedication shines through his music. I hope that you'll feel it as clearly as I have. Tonight is one very special night. Maybe with his music we can all be motivated to get a little more active. Robert Hoyt.
Thank you. Saving the world can be so hard to do when no one else cares, at least not as much as you. A few precious moments, a few things to share, but it costs me a lot of stress because it's such a mess and we're not getting anywhere.
How do you relate to that feeling when people get offended by the Earth First idea?
There's a bumper sticker, and it's, I hate to put it in such simplistic terms, it's a great bumper sticker that says, there are no jobs on a dead planet. And that just says it all right there. Like I said before, if you put the Earth first, and the Earth will take care of people. You put people first, then there's no hope for the Earth or the people.
How do you feel about people who just don't know? Like they've lived their whole life, they just don't understand that they can walk softer on the Earth.
Well, that's a cultural thing. They don't know. They're not hearing anything else. Certainly not hearing it from the media. They're not even hearing it from the mainstream environmental groups.
A few years ago when Al Gore was trying to win your trust, he wrote this book implying that to save the Earth we must.
We were in here calling the White House a while ago. We're going to do it again later. You also need to do that yourself.
I guess a few mistakes could be expected in his life. Remember, this is the guy who chose Tipper for a wife.
Let's see, how is it worded?
But now when Al speaks for the Earth, he's only met with laughter. Because we all remember just how hard he worked for NAFTA.
Any tree susceptible to fire or insect attack will be logged. I mean, that's every tree.
I say all this because if Al Gore, big business's friend, is an environmentalist, then I'm the Queen of England.
So it's a real Earth Week sort of bill, huh?
Yeah. Happy time.
They said that Brucey Babbitt would get tough to take a stand, but he's full of that stuff that covers up our public lands. I'll say all this because if Al Gore, the welfare rancher's friend, is an environmentalist, then I'm the Queen of England.
So tonight, what are you gonna say about this?
I'm gonna let Beth do it since she's gonna be there. She was spitting green fire and brimstone last night.
And I have called Clinton today, and I said, Bill, I worked long and hard on your campaign to get you elected, but I will vote against him in the next election if he does not veto this bill. And I would rather know who my enemy is because he is stabbing us in the back. And he needs to veto this bill.
No, Al would never drag his feet, he'd never tell a lie. Just ask the folks who live next door to WTI. I say all this because if Al Gore, DuPont's best friend, is an environmentalist, then I'm the Queen of England.
Robert to come back this year because he gives all of us courage. And that courage comes out of his music and out of himself. It's those two things that come together that are real important.
My hand shakes as I drop the coins into the newspaper machine. I used to be up on my current events, now I only believe what I've seen. But there's no choice, no other voice, and so it's hard to get the truth in a fish-wrapped town, slanted by right-wing views. If a tree falls, does it make a sound? If it's not reported, is it news?
I'll have coffee.
Orange juice.
Large or small?
Large.
Just had this idea.
What's that?
It's one of those preconceived kind of songs. It's Oklahoma City's Woody Guthrie's hometown. I should write a Woody Guthrie type song. Woody would point out the fact that actors in this country caused things like this for years in other places, and nobody gave a shit. Now it's come home.
How could you go after, you know, a movement that has no members, that has absolutely no organization to it, except for the campfires? Now, if you really wanted to go after Earth First, you'd get all their musicians. Seriously, you would. And then the Earth First movement would just slowly but surely die. It would just turn into a big rainbow drum circle, and the whole thing would just fall apart.
They executed Joe Hill. They framed him. He was a singer-songwriter in the early labor movement in the IWW, Wobblies, Industrial Workers of the World. They bombed Judy and Darrell. Supposedly he was only meant for Judy, but they were out doing a musical road show at the time. But I'm frustrated sometimes because I get so tied up in the music business part of it, just trying to keep myself going, that I have less time to spend on the activist stuff. I don't think I'm that, if I was that dangerous, and if I do my job, I guess I could be that dangerous. If I was that dangerous to the powers that be, they'd take care of me. Maybe they will someday.
I first saw him at the Rendezvous in New Mexico, but I got to know him at the action after that rendezvous. We went out to the Amoco drilling site, or one of the Amoco offices that was responsible for drilling in the national forest there, and it was just a post-rendezvous action. And the cops chased somebody into the woods, and there was a lot of excitement, and then everybody just kind of went back to the demonstration, and nobody was really concerned about the guy in the woods. And so I was walking back there trying to figure out what to do for this poor guy. You know, he had 3 cops chasing him, and everybody was just minding their own business. And the only other person that was concerned about him was Robert. And so he finally emerged from the woods, and Robert and I had a little plan that we were gonna stick him back there with Claude and behind the truck. And that's just what we did. We got him in there, and I think he changed his clothes and shaved his beard back there, and we went out for a pizza afterwards.
It's a disease, journalistic squeeze, a waste of good trees. But it's hard to get the truth in a fish-wrapped nation. So what's an informed citizen to do? Who owns your paper and your TV station? You'll find that is who owns you.
We are, right now I'm gonna try and download addresses of naturally local politicians and some of the core politicians concerned with trying to pass this contract on America.
So you're on the internet?
Yeah, I'm on Netscape. Quite the handy device, you know. This thing is, the internet is just hopping full of good stuff.
5.5 to 6 billion humans on this planet. Soon to be 6 billion. That whole population thing, it's not overblown, but it kind of is used sometimes to cover up the fact that it's not just population, you know. The United States, the population is fairly stabilized as compared to, say, third world countries, but here, it's overconsumption. I mean, we just waste so much. We just don't need half the stuff we have. We should go dumpster diving. I'll show you what overconsumption is really all about.
Where are those things you worked hard for all your life? Where are the objects of your joy? Where are those things that you've come to expect? Where are the winner's toys? Where will you find your place among things? Where will you find your strength? Where will you find the national will? It's all there at the bottom of the landfill. Cabbage and peas and expired cheese, good things no one will ever taste. Paper galore and old 2x4s, whole forests laid to waste. Where will you find your place among things? Where will you find your strength? Where will you find the national will? It's all there at the bottom of the landfill.
Well, in this decadent society, it's such a throwaway, overconsumptive society. Everything in a store goes out the back door. If it doesn't sell or whatever, reaches that magic expiration date, or even if it doesn't, maybe a new shipment comes in, they have to clear the shelves to make room. They don't care, you'd be amazed. So if you ever go into a grocery store, which we're gonna do in a minute, remember everything eventually goes out the back door. Totally wasted. Perfectly good stuff. Full service, self-service, okay.
Well, you won't get my cash and I'll steal your trash. Why should I spend it in your corporate store? You can compact it all to hell, but you can't hide the smell, and I'll still be hanging around your back door. Where will you find your place among things? Where will you find your strength? Where will you find the national
Dumpster Italian.
It's all there at the bottom of the land.
We got pasta over here, pasta sauce here. We have dumpster dive tomato paste, dumpster dive broccoli, zucchini. We had to buy the onion, unfortunately.
For you folks at home, it smells as good as it looks. Out next year, the Robert Hoyt Dumpster Diving Cookbook and video. Ooh,
voila.
Hold it right there.
Where will you find your place among things? Where will you find your strength? Where will you find the national will? It's all there at the bottom of the landfill. It's all there at the bottom of the landfill. Free the trash.
As you know, I was arrested this last summer, guitar in hand, at a protest at Watts Bar nuclear power plant in Tennessee. And to make matters worse, they I almost ruined my Martin guitar. It's in the hospital right now. This is my Takamine. So to get even, I wrote a song.
You heard of 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl. Well, they're just a taste of things to come. This is all assuming that the air is human. To invite disaster is just plain dumb. Nuclear power does not work. Nuclear power does not work. Leave it alone, because power from a stone sounds too good to be true. Nuclear power does not work. Nuclear power does not work. It does not work still. It never has and it never will. Nuclear power does not work. So where do you think that it all comes from? From the mining of native lands, that's the answer. People just like us who have to breathe the dust, then die slow, painful deaths from cancer.
It's been under construction for something like 22 years. It cost $7 billion. We've never gotten it right. Even the Nuclear Regulatory Commission has never allowed it to go online. It has had so many problems. And some of us did a protest there back summer 1994. You know, the non-violent civil disputes kind of thing. Some people had locked down and locked the workers out that morning. And all these small town cops never seen anything like that before. And plus they came from about 4 different jurisdictions, so I don't think they had a leader. So they lost it, basically had a police riot.
So what do you do with all the waste that keeps piling up without regard? That you must store it, and there's just no safe place for it. And if you think there is, you must mean your own backyard. Nuclear power does not work. No, nuclear power does not work.
How you guys doing?
All right, how are you?
Hey.
Doing?
Not much.
Actually got into town yesterday and we went out and camped out in the Shawnee last night. Had a lot of visitors, not the people we were expecting. This one guy came up and some local, he was telling us about, yeah, I live over here by this really tall mountain. It's the highest point in southern Illinois. It's 30,000 feet. And we're saying, it must be like maybe 3,000, you know.
I can tell you what some of my friends, because, well, they wouldn't have jumped like you guys did.
Stop and take a walk where the sea meets the land. I know I'm just a tiny grain among all the sand. The last time I walked the wave, someone walked by my side. You could kill all the life, but you can't kill the tide. There's a Mississippi cloud hanging over my head. There's an Alabama welcome where I'll make my bed. I'll stay off that interstate as long as I can. There's no hurry, 'cause this cloud'll be wherever I am.
Alright, well, I want you to meet Claude. This is Claude, a happy camping traveling cat. Claude is a rather special kitty. He had a little accident when he was a kitten, and he's, I guess you would call him a feline, a physically challenged feline American would be the description of him.
I remember someone I once knew from here, and times I haven't thought about for many a year. I wonder what became of that old friend as I passed through a town where I've never been. There's a Mississippi cloud hanging over my head. There's an Alabama welcome where I'll make my bed. I'll stay off that interstate as long as I can.
I don't know, it's so disheartening and so disillusioning sometimes that just a couple things on the radio this morning. Today is Earth Day 1995 anniversary of what the big one in 1970. A couple things. One is this is also the week of the Oklahoma City bombing. And there was some, talking head commentaries on the radio, and some guy was saying, they were asking, well, what would be like other major headlines that hadn't been, covered up, overshadowed by the Oklahoma City bombing? And ran through all this list of stuff, the environment didn't even make it.
We do feel like your music is really making a difference.
I don't know, I oftentimes don't think that it is. People tell me that it inspires them. I don't know, if I'm doing that, if I'm keeping spirits up, well, that's good. Every action I take, I have to justify driving this fossil fuel burning death machine here. If I didn't think I was doing something, and sometimes I wonder if I am, if I can't justify it, then I need to join the, what we call the Stay Put movement. And I may join their ranks someday, yeah. Stay put somewhere and grow my own food. I have one little kind of optimistic kind of faith in humankind a little bit. That's saying a lot coming from a person like me. Just like the stuff on the radio this morning. I think if the average person if they knew what I knew, then they would totally change their way of thinking, their lifestyle, and be total alarmed. I'm alarmed. I'm nothing less than alarmed.
People trying hard to believe in what is right, and if convinced, then they're willing to fight. But we're 5 billion strong, and we can all be wrong. If you can't win with logic, it's proven with might.
It's called a trombone theater that is somehow a part of or associated with an anarchist collective. Very, very spirited bunch of people, these anarchists. Of course, as their name would imply, not very organized.
People living with the land for thousands of years, dying painful deaths at hands of shameless profiteers. And we don't want to see what's in store for you and me, and that soon we'll be marching down our own
people and the places, both. It's an incredible geography lesson. I mean, I always heard about Detroit, you know, about the urban blight and everything, how bad things were, but there it is. Get to see it firsthand. Just nothing like it.
What do you think of his kids, Claude?
Claude hates kids.
Reality that the fabric of life is coming undone.
Wake up, little Claude can't wake up. Hanging around the coolest, most intelligent, most caring people around. And it's wonderful. It's addictive.
Think in this lifetime my work will never be through.
I think that, you know, slowly but surely we all kind of are realizing that forest issues aren't a separate issue. You know, what happens to people of color, what happens to women, what happens to gays, lesbians, bisexuals, what happens to just about everybody that's under the gun these days is what's going to happen to the forest as well.
I like to sing and take time to play my guitar.
In a town in the Midwest where very often small numbers of people exhaust themselves for dozens of different issues, it's important to be inspired. Robert gives us something very special. It's like suddenly discovering a full moon on a night.
And shouting anger at the temples of power, but laughter's important too. Let's take the day and go out and play in the sun. Dedicate one single day to nothing but fun. This may be the last spring that we get a chance to sing songs of gratitude. And I want to spend the end of the world with you.
We're fighting for the survival of life on this planet. And most people that are involved in this thing, they've given up everything. We can't live this kind of life anymore, this Western culture, totally decadent, freaking materialistic crap kind of life. We know better.
I was looking through the help wanted section today, just flipping through the pages with increasing dismay. And then there's this little ad I see, and it's the perfect job for me. It said dreamers, we're singing dreamers for exciting careers and reverie. Just come on down, you're hired.
I was wondering if it'd be possible, you know, to find the mate to any one shoe here.
What's your future hold, Robert?
What does my future hold?
Next year, 2 years, 10 years? Where do you want to be with your music and the environment and stuff?
Just a job interview. Hopefully it'll become a sustainable business. Maybe I'll be freed up to do more direct activism. I don't want to make a lot of money. I don't want to like make enough money to pay taxes into that, you know, death machine. So who knows? And I'm looking for a home, you know. And again, maybe not. Property is just something you have that could be taken away from you. Just another thing to be used to control you.
What about love?
What about love?
don't know.
Yeah, well. What about it? When it comes, it comes.
That ladder with ease for unlimited growth. Wealth and fame, you'll have both. Only serious applicants please. Only serious applicants please. Well, I was minding my own business, just trying to get by, when things started getting crazy, and now I wonder why. I was trying to lead a good life, now I don't know how. Jesus, what's next? Well, I know that I'm a sinner, and I guess I'll always be, but that just don't explain what's been happening to me. Thunder and lightning I can understand, but Jesus, what's next? Jesus, what's next? I must have done something bad that's got our daddy vexed. No, I wouldn't be surprised if the sun don't rise tomorrow. Jesus, what's next? Yes, Jesus, what's next? Oh, Jesus, what's next?